What up, folks? Vinny D here, back with another fucking fantastic video. It's good to be back. It's good to be making a video. Before I even get into this, I want to give a shout out to my boy Garrett because he hit me up after my last video and was kind enough to make a donation to the channel. So with his donation, I was actually able to purchase a hard drive, and with that hard drive I am going to be able to better organize all of the videos I've already recorded, and I'm going to be putting together a huge file folder full of shorts and editing them, getting them ready to distribute here in the future. But today, so thanks Garrett, but today I'm going to be talking about mastery and expertise. And the inspiration for today's video kind of came at a point where I am building this newsletter. I don't want to talk too much about it. I'm building a newsletter business, and like the eventual goal is to make money. It's not making money right now. But the thing with this business that I've chosen, this idea of like building a newsletter that people read, it's going to be free. They're going to read this newsletter. It's going to be completely free to read, and it's going to make money through advertising. But the point, I guess, of the video, and the reason why I'm talking about like mastery and expertise is like this business is very different in terms of the nature, I guess, of what I'm doing, because I know I'm not going to make money like right now, you know, which is like forced me into a state of mind that I am starting to really appreciate, where I feel more of an emphasis on not being so rushed to like put something out there, get to the promotion. I think Layla Hormozi, or maybe it was Alex, I don't even know, one of the Hormozis for sure. I heard them say one time that, you know, why would you advertise something that you haven't like built like really well? Because then you're just like spending money to let people know that your product sucks. And that's I mean, we'll put that on the shelf, but that's an interesting concept, especially for me to hear that as someone who, honestly, most of the things that I have promoted in the past were complete garbage. Like when I did drop shipping, I chose products off of Chinese wholesalers' websites, and the logistics and shipping times were terrible, and my customer service, my back end, was fucking terrible. I didn't communicate with customers. I didn't respond to emails. It was honestly more of a scam than anything. And the quality of the product itself, like one of the stores was like a clothing item, and the quality was shit. You know, so. And then again, like later on in my career, I became the chief operating officer of a moving company. And in this moving company, the actual operational side of the business was complete fucking garbage. Like, our customer service was terrible. Our ability to actually deliver what we said we were gonna, like, promise we would deliver, was not good. The only thing that we were doing well was the marketing, which was also being done in a kind of sketchy way, kind of like using like little hacks in the search engines to get 40 fucking sales calls a day, but we didn't actually have the infrastructure, the operational infrastructure to support the sales that we were getting. So honestly, I mean, I didn't really build that business, but I did operate it for a little while, and I didn't have very much autonomy over like making changes. I did see a lot of these problems, like, but you know, I was fucking dumb, 22-year-old kid, just doing. I mean, I don't want to act like I'm ignorant, but I was just like, you know, I was just trying to learn as much as I could, and I learned a lot. The point is, again, back to this idea of mastery and expertise. Earlier this year, I haven't really done anything entrepreneurial in 2023. I have slowed down and focused a lot on myself, mainly because I ended up going into a sober living and doing a 12-step recovery program for addiction, which I needed to do. I definitely needed to do that because for me, I was just terribly unhappy. I don't think I was gonna like die tomorrow from addiction. I was really just drinking a fuck ton. But I had gotten to a point in my life where, yeah, maybe externally things were going pretty decently, you know. I was relatively fit and I had a pretty substantial amount of money coming in for the amount of work I was doing, like running my own thing. But I was really miserable, and so anyways, I made that decision. I wanted to share that, just get a little personal with you here on the channel. But yeah, so, you know, it's what, August 15th today, and I really haven't done anything entrepreneurial this year, which is like really the first time since I was 17, going on 18, that I wasn't like selling some product online or building some sort of like service-based business, doing something of that nature. But in the time that I've taken in the last 8 months to kind of think, I did project. I did like an exercise that's actually outlined in the book Think and Grow Rich, which I think is a fantastic book for anyone who is interested in becoming the master of their fate and the captain of their soul. But one of the exercises inside of the book is basically going through and looking at all of your experiences in the marketplace, all the jobs you've had and different projects you've worked on, and looking at all the skills that you've acquired through everything that you've done. And it was really interesting for me because I went through and I was able to realize, like, okay, like the key, for me personally, the key pattern was like I was always building websites. I was always running different paid ad campaigns and learning different like marketing angles and psychology of marketing and sales. It was kind of like this marketing, sales, like digital marketing thing. And so I thought that was interesting. And like looking back over my ignorance over the years, like selling these bullshit products and like half-baked services that I didn't really put a ton of time and effort into actually building it out. I really just was, you know, I knew I could market things, so I just did that. But obviously that made for not being able to build a long-term sustainable business because there was no actual business there. It was just me sitting behind my computer or a phone, creating some sort of, you know, savvy advertisement and good targeting and some good copy and a good landing page and make a little money. I'm gonna go this way. The point of it, I guess, is like now with this newsletter, I've been working on, like, I've been developing the idea out over the last like 2 months now. Yeah, it was like, I was thinking about it last year, back in like 2022, like December, November. I was thinking about doing something of this nature, but again, like, I was miserable. I was fucking still drinking all the time. I didn't really have a clear mind, and I really wasn't in any state to make any major decisions anyways. But I've been working on this idea for about 2 months now and just building it out. I'm in the process of like putting together a a website and like actually designing the newsletter itself, which I'm doing, like someone else is doing that's better than me at doing it, which is already one step in a better direction than I've ever taken with any other business, because the actual thing I'm offering to people is actually getting time and energy and like being built with quality. So that's good. Anyhow, this idea mastery and expertise. I realize right now that like for example, one of the people that are helping me do this project have a 6-figure job, and they work for a well-established organization doing things that I just know how to do because I've done them tons of times for my own little projects. And this person gets paid a substantial amount of money to do this. So made me realize that there's just something there. This idea of mastery and like getting to a point where, you know, it just takes time to curate like that level of like detail. And like with this website that I've currently been building for the newsletter, it's the best website I've ever done. But that's like, again, it like, with this idea of mastery, it took like time, not only to like actually acquire the necessary skills to be able to like put it together the way I did and that I am right now, but it also like through my ignorance and all the mistakes I made, I've realized like, okay, like there's no rushing the process anymore. Like there's nothing that I am gonna do quickly, or like I'm gonna do it as quick as I can, but I'm not gonna rush it. Like I'll know when I'm done. And when I'm done is when it's done completely and just done. It's just done. Once I've built the asset of having the website, it's done, right? Same thing with the actual design of the newsletter itself. And actually putting thought, focus, concentration, energy into building the thing. I think that it's kind of a hard thing to comprehend. So like I realized that like, okay, part of my, I have been very frugal lately because I'm not making a shit ton of money. All I'm doing is going and working at I am working at a dead-end job right now. I don't have to be by any means. I know I can get a job where I'm making more money, but then with more money comes me having to like spend more time there, more energy, less time to like build this project that in the long term is actually the lucrative play, is working on what I'm working on now, because not only am I creating leverage through media, but I'm also creating leverage in building this company, because if when the company gets to a point where it's valuable and I have a lot of readers and I have enterprises that are advertising with me, I can also go sell the company, and then now I'm leveraging, it's just better. The point is I've been very frugal, right? Because I don't make a fuck ton of money right now, and it's forced me into this like place of discipline where I have to live way below, like I know I can make more money if I go get a 9-to-5, a better job, if I went and did something in sales. I had a conversation with a friend like 8 months ago, right before I got into sober living. And he's like, yeah, man, I mean, you could just go get this like job, go like B2B sales, and you'll at least be making like a good amount of money right away, because it's like entrepreneurial thing. I'm not making a lot of money. I'm like trying to figure it out. Anyways, I'm like, fuck that. I thought about it. I was like, I thought about this a lot actually in the last 6 months, and I was like, am I willing to sacrifice my lifelong dream to make more money now and live a better lifestyle now? And like, yeah, maybe if I went and did B2B sales, I would learn more about the sales process of selling business to business. But fuck it. I don't want to do that. I want to build the fucking project. So with that, and with all these iterations on my own mindset, comes this idea of mastery. I'm working on this thing now first I'm talking about the website and all the things that it took for me to get to the point where I'm like, all right, I feel really good about what I just built. And not only do I feel good about it, I know it's good logically, because I'm literally comparing it to industry leaders, and I'm like, yeah, I could build that. So I just copied my 3 favorites and then combined it into my own brand, and it looks fucking gorgeous. And I built it myself, so that's cool. But now I got to this point where I'm like, okay, the reason I was talking about the frugality thing is because I'm not really in a position where I want to go drop a bunch of money on advertising to build the newsletter subscriber base, because the subscriber base, honestly, right now is not going to equal dollars. Like, I'm trying to create the highest quality newsletter that I can and spend the least amount of money that I can. And I don't care if I'm making money right now, because I'm comfortable enough to live and like do the things that, you know, keep my head above water, keep me feeling like life's good, right? So I know how to run paid ads. I don't want to. I don't want to spend the money. And so what I'm doing is it's, again, like forcing me back into mastery of like, okay, given my resources and what I'm willing to expend monetarily to promote this thing, this newsletter, what are my options? And really, it makes my options really simple. I can do it. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to be writing content anyways for the newsletter, so I might as well convert those into blogs that are search engine optimized and generate organic traffic through Google search. Perfect. So right now, today, I bought a course on search engine optimization specifically for Google, and it's like a fucking 18-hour masterclass, and I'm just gonna like go through it and just fucking learn the shit I need to learn and apply that to these blogs I'm writing. But now, how did I learn how to write a blog? Well, before I did this search engine optimization class, what I did is I took an entire masterclass on how to create a blog. Learned every type of blog, how to write them, what reading level I should be writing at, different ways to structure the blog itself, how you should have the titles, what different blogs are made for, and like going over like the sales process of a blog itself, and like why people are reading this blog and all these things. But now I'm like, okay, I already know how to write it, and I practiced that a few times on just like my personal website, and now I'm doing it for a business and with a long-term intent to make money. And I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna layer the skill of knowing how to write a blog post with search engine optimization so that I can actually organically generate traffic to the blog post so people are reading it, right? High quality content, a high quality free way of getting people to read the content. And so my other option besides, so I guess that's more on the topic, mastery. The mastery of the fact that like, first I had to fucking take this one course, and like in the beginning it wasn't really fun. Like learning how to create, it was like I don't even know, it was like a content creation or content marketing class. It was like fucking 8 hours, 9 hours worth of shit, and I finished that, and it wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it because I wasn't making there was no results. I was just like, all right, well, I'm learning how to write these, but I practiced by putting them on my website, and I wasn't getting a ton of people reading them because I didn't know SEO yet. So I was just like promoting them to my friends, like sending out through text, email to like my current contacts. People like, I got a lot of feedback, like, hey, this is really good, or like, maybe you should write it more like this, or like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but like, I'm just writing the fucking blogs, getting in the habit, and learning the skills I'm learning from this course, and applying them. And I did that enough times where I'm like, okay, now with myself, I feel confident that I can write a piece of content that is good, okay? Even great if I took the time to put that much time and energy into creating that thing. And then it's like, okay, and then I actually, decided to go more into the newsletter when I took the course, because I was like, okay, well, like I can do this. I enjoy doing this. How can I make me money at some point? It's not going to be by fucking Christmas. I'm probably not going to be like a fucking millionaire by Christmas, but you know, again, moving the pieces where they need to be so that like for future, it's like, okay, well, I've already mastered this. Let's stack this on top of it. And it's like this idea of like skill stacking mastery. And I know that my writing skills are only going to improve through actually creating more content, putting out these weekly, daily fucking newsletter posts and like repurposing the blogs, and it's going to be cool. But again, it's like this skill stacking thing of mastery that has like led me to this point where I'm actually working on, I hate this fucking word or this like idea, but a passion project, but it is. It's like I'm doing a business, writing a newsletter about something that I'm passionate about, that other people I know based on statistics and factual data are also passionate and share an interest with me. And because I went through the trials and tribulations of mastery, of like doing all these projects, learning how to run ads, build, design, copyright, and now I'm learning SEO and just like little tactics of like one-on-one outreach and like how to go about that, or that was even an option of something I could be doing. Making fucking short form content that like has a high probability of reaching a higher number of people to like also push them to these blogs to sign up for the newsletter. You know, it's like, but this didn't come like, it came from the time spent under the bar. Like the shit that I do that I missed out on so much shit. Like I missed out on so much of a social life, and I missed out on fucking the college experience, and I missed out on multiple girlfriends and fucking all this shit. Now, granted, I still had other things that were distracting me from those things, but like for the most part, I spent a lot of time in isolation. But now, in the place I'm in now, I've met many people that have these high salary jobs for doing these skills that I know I could like run laps around these people, and like not in like an egotistical, prideful way, but like I don't know. I think it's just it's a hard like, you know, reality, because it's like, well, it's cool that I'm building these skills. Maybe I should get a different job because I have these skills, and I've talked to people that that have these jobs, and I'm like, but again, that's not my goal, right? And like I think that's kind of the beauty of entrepreneurship, is it creates a necessity for mastery and expertise, because until, at least for me, like you can have like little wins and like blah blah. I don't know. For me, I had a lot of little wins, a lot of stupid, pointless shit. But like until I've gotten to like this specific point in time where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna master. Like I'm gonna triple the fuck down on everything that I've already spent, like kind of dabbled in, which I thought was important too. But like kind of dabbling around with like different ideas, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? And, you know, I'm just like, now I'm gonna triple down and like just do what I'm doing for a long time, because it's eventually gonna work. It's eventually gonna work. Like the only thing that's holding me back, well, there's nothing holding me back, but the only thing that has held me back in the past was like the fear of like, oh, well, what if I work on this for this period of time, it doesn't work out? Well, like not even statistically, if you just look at it from like a 30,000 foot view, it's gonna work. If you find, eventually you're gonna find a lever. And when I say the lever, I mean the activity that you have to do that's going to produce the result that you want. And once you find that lever that produces the sale, the sign up, whatever it's gonna be, you just continue to pull that lever relentlessly over and over and over and over again until you can't, until there's not an option. And then you find a new lever and you pull that. So I'm not really sure where I'm going with this whole thing, but the point is that like at 17 years old, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I didn't really know what that meant, to be honest. Like, and I think I was actually at a disservice, maybe not, but a disservice to self because I got lucky. Like that, I think that's the worst thing that could have happened. Maybe the best. We'll see how the next 10 years plays out. But I think one of the worst things that happened to me early on in my career as an entrepreneur was having success. Was like the first thing I did worked out weirdly well. And I made thousands and tens of thousands of dollars selling t-shirts. And it only worked. It literally, like, I couldn't have fucked it up. I don't know why, but it worked so well. So my initial perspective was like, oh, this entrepreneurship thing is easy. Then I got a swift kick in the dick and realized that it's not easy at all. I spent the last 5 years like crawling around, scratching and clawing, trying to figure out like how to actually make this like thing work. And I guess for me too, a lot of it was self-mastery. Like I had to get over a lot of my own bullshit, a lot of my own insecurities, a lot of my own fears, a lot of my own limiting beliefs on like, oh, well, I can't do this type of business model because XYZ, or like why would anybody give me funding to start this business, or for whatever fucking reason. Either way, this idea of mastery is something that kind of invades every aspect of our lives, and specifically as an entrepreneur, I think it's something that, you know, not only do we have to gain mastery over whatever the product or service is that we're providing, or whatever skills are necessary to become the person and do the things that need to be done, but also like we have to gain mastery over our emotions. We have to gain mastery over our character, over our thoughts, over our beliefs. And that shit takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. That's why I think most people stall out at average and never truly reach greatness, because achieving mastery requires a level of dedication that most people are unwilling to put in. So, I don't know. With that, I'll pass. See you later.